All right, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you're having a wonderful evening. Morning. It is June 9th, 2025. My mic sounds super loud right now, but we have an exciting day ahead of us, and I hope you guys are all ready for it. So we were coming into this week with PPI, CPI, and a couple of other points of data. And now, this morning, we woke up with news that China and the United States are meeting in the United Kingdom to have trade discussions. So it has to do with rare minerals and the magnets and all of that. But generally, it's a pretty good vibe. And then other than that, there is some conflict in the United States, in Los Angeles. Everybody is going crazy over the ICE detentions, and there is riots. I don't think it's going to affect the market, but you're probably going to hear a lot more about it. And if we do hear more, then that'll lead to the next stage. But all in all, we got a big week ahead. There's a couple of things in June. I hope you guys watch yesterday's watch list because you are able to see everything, man. We have a lot of events from pretty much today and the first couple of weeks here of June, or the middle of June, leading into September. So all in all, Chattadonia, I hope you guys had a good weekend. I hope you're ready to go because I don't know, man, all-time highs, the bars, everything. Are you ready? Oh, good morning. So here, hold on. I need to turn this down, bro. I hear myself yelling at myself, baby. Oh, good morning. What's up, Malcolm? Zoraj, Ansel, Mr. Edwards, PNC in the house, El Trapado, Tyree, Ansel, Noah, Laker, Jay. Good morning, baby. What up, Guido? What up, Ken? How you doing? Nora, Ion, Taylor, Rajaya, Mr. Browning, baby. What's going on? Brian Ramirez, Ivy Valdez, Winnie, Jamar, Braden, Mr. Carter. Good morning, baby. What up, Max? What up, Jamar again? Phil Robo, Liquid Skittle, Me Not Your Hamlet. Hamlet, what a name. What up, Donnie? Good morning, Ciara. Good morning, Samuel. Hey, Ray, Michael Nye. Oh, good morning, Joe. Patrick Swayze, Godfather, Rocky Top, Nepal, Xavier, Devin, El Presidente, and Mr. Durfee. Oh, my goodness. Good morning. And if I missed you, I'm here, so I hope I see you too, baby. Let's have a good day. But now, here is Josh AI with the news. Good morning. S&P 500 futures extend gains ahead of trade talks. Stock futures advanced on Monday as investors set out to monitor talks between the U.S. and China in London for signs that trade tensions between the two biggest economies might be cooling. S&P 500 contracts rose 0.2% after the main gauge broke through the 6,000 level for the first time since February at the end of last week. Chinese shares trading in Hong Kong entered a bull market. A gauge for emerging market equities was set for its highest close in more than 3 years. European stocks edged lower. The U.S. stock benchmark is nearing an all-time high after shaking off the volatility that followed President Donald Trump's sweeping tariff announcements 2 months ago. Still, traders are searching for catalysts for sustained advances as the full economic impact of the trade war has yet to fully manifest and key trade-related questions remain unresolved. We will break to new highs eventually, Keith Lerner, co-chief investment officer at Truist Advisory Services, told Bloomberg. The market is dealing with uncertainty around tariffs. It matters, but it's not the only thing that matters. Technology is back at the forefront. Tesla Inc. shares fell 2.3% in pre-market trading. Bear downgraded the stock to neutral, noting that Elon Musk and Trump's spat has added considerable uncertainty for the electric vehicle maker. Warner Brothers Discovery Inc. rose more than 5% on plans to separate into two public businesses. The dollar dropped 0.2%. Treasury yields edged lower with the 10-year rate at 4.50%. At a time when global investors are pushing back against long-term government debt, a $22 billion auction of 30-year bonds on Thursday is bound to be one of Wall Street's most anticipated events this week. Traders will also focus on Wednesday's U.S. inflation report for May. Consumers probably saw a slightly faster pace of price increases as companies gradually pass along higher import duties, according to a Bloomberg survey of economists. In May, when the 30-year went above 5%, we have seen buyers buying the dip. Vasiliki Pachaturidi, head of BlackRock's iShares fixed income product strategy for EMEA, told Bloomberg TV, "We are underweight the long end of the curve, but there are people out there that still see value in U.S. Treasuries at the right price." Corporate highlights: Warner Brothers Discovery Inc. said it will separate the company into two publicly traded businesses, splitting its streaming and studios business and its TV networks operations by the middle of next year. Starbucks Corp on Monday announced price cuts for a slew of its tea-based beverages at its stores across China as the American coffee chain takes a more aggressive approach to revive sales at its second biggest market. Sunova Energy International Inc., one of the largest U.S. rooftop solar companies, filed for bankruptcy in Texas following struggles with mounting debt and diminishing sales prospects. Meta Platforms Inc. set to throw billion at startup that leads AI data market. Qualcomm Inc. has agreed to buy London-listed semiconductor company Alphawave IP Group plc for about $2.4 billion in cash to expand its technology for artificial intelligence. DWPP plc Chief Executive Officer Mark Reed is set to retire at the end of the year, kicking off a search for a successor at one of the world's largest advertising agency groups as it grapples with slowing sales. Grab Holdings Limited said it isn't in talks to acquire Southeast Asia internet peer GoTo Group at this time, signaling it's halting or at least pausing a planned $7 billion acquisition of its Southeast Asia internet peer. Advent is considering a takeover of Spectrus plc, a UK maker of precision and testing equipment and software. Chinese stocks in Hong Kong enter bull market before U.S. talks. Chinese shares trading in Hong Kong entered a bull market on Monday as planned talks between the U.S. and China fueled a wider sense of relief among investors. The Hang Seng China Enterprises Index closed up 1.7%, taking its gains to more than 20% since an April 7th low. Technology and e-commerce shares were among the best performers, helping the HexEI beat almost every other index in Asia despite a widespread rally. Global stock markets were hit hard in early April when U.S. President Donald Trump announced sweeping tariffs that set off a series of rapidly escalating levies from the world's two largest economies, but a 90-day pause on most of the tariffs helped dispel investors' worst fears, at least for now, and focus has shifted to the chance of a broader deal. Representatives from the two countries meet for talks in London on Monday. Meta set to throw billions at startup that leads AI data market 3 months after the Chinese artificial intelligence developer DeepSeek upended the tech world with a model that rivaled America's best. A 28-year-old AI executive named Alexander Wang came to Capitol Hill to tell policymakers what they needed to do to maintain U.S. dominance. The U.S., Wang said at the April hearing, needs to establish a national AI data reserve, supply enough power for data centers, and avoid an onerous patchwork of state-level rules. Lawmakers welcomed his feedback. "It's good to see you again here in Washington," Republican Representative Neil Dunn of Florida said. "You're becoming a regular up here." Wang, the chief executive officer of Scale AI, may not be a household name in the same way OpenAI's Sam Altman has become, but he and his company have gained significant influence in tech and policy circles in recent years. Scale uses an army of contractors to label the data that tech firms such as Meta Platforms Inc. and OpenAI use to train and improve their AI models, and helps companies make custom AI applications. Increasingly, it's enlisting PhDs, nurses, and other experts with advanced degrees to help develop more sophisticated models, according to a person familiar with the matter. Put simply, the three pillars of AI are chips, talent, and data, and Scale is a dominant player in the last of those. And now the startup stature is set to grow even more. Meta is in talks to make a multi-billion-dollar investment in Scale. Bloomberg News reported over the weekend the financing may exceed $10 billion in value, making it one of the largest private company funding events of all time. The startup was valued at about $14 billion in 2024 as part of a funding round that that included backing from Meta. China exports to U.S. fall most since 2020 despite trade truce. Chinese exports rose less than expected last month as the worst drop in shipments to the U.S. in more than 5 years counteracted strong demand from other markets. Exports rose almost 5% from a year ago to $316 billion in May, slower than economists' forecast of 6% growth. Despite that slowdown, record shipments so far this year provided much-needed support for an economy that is stuck in deflation and struggling with weak domestic demand. Everything Apple plans to show at its iOS 26-focused WWDC 2025 event. Apple Inc.'s upcoming Worldwide Developers Conference will do little to assuage fears that the iPhone maker is a laggard in AI. Instead, the event will focus on design and productivity enhancements for its long-established operating system franchises. And the company's keynote address, which begins at 10 a.m. Pacific time on Monday, will introduce redesigned software interfaces for the iPhone, iPad, Mac, Apple TV, and Apple Watch, in addition to more minor tweaks to the Vision Pro headset. Tariffs at trade. U.S. and China resume trade talks on Monday. Export licenses a topic of discussion. Bloomberg, New York Times, CNBC. China plans to expedite rare earth export licenses for U.S. and European auto companies, easing supply concerns. CNBC. Automakers face a magnet supply crisis due to Chinese export curbs, risking production shutdowns. Reuters. American companies urging Trump admin to reduce tariffs on Vietnam, vital for their China Plus One strategy. FT. Trump aides urge the court to maintain tariffs, downplaying public concerns as they challenge a recent ruling. NY Times. Japan-U.S. tariff deal is unlikely before the G7 summit, according to Tokyo negotiator Akazawa. Nikkei. Trump-Starmer historic trade deal stalls as UK tariffs remain. Uncertainty grows for businesses. Politico. Boeing has resumed 737 MAX deliveries to China, signaling easing tensions between the U.S. and China. Reuters. Washington. Senate GOP plans major revisions to Trump's $3T economic package, focusing on Medicaid savings, spending cuts. Link. Bloomberg. Executives from major companies will this week lobby against Trump's tax plan on foreign investments, fearing job losses. FT. Trump assumes his relationship with Musk is over, warning of consequences if Musk funds Democratic candidates. Axios. New York Times. Musk's fall from favor with Trump may benefit other tech leaders easing their dealings in Washington. Axios. Trump urges military intervention in Los Angeles amid ongoing protests against immigration raids and unrest. Link. NY Times. Axios. Economy. China CPI extends drop in May. PPI the weakest in 22 months. CNBC. Bloomberg. China May export growth slightly misses estimates with sharp falls in shipments to U.S. as trade talks loom. FT. CNBC. China's rare earth exports rose 23% in May, but export curbs still disrupt global manufacturing. Bloomberg. Reuters. Japan's Q1 GDP contraction narrows on consumer strength. Reuters. Bloomberg. Japan to consider ending duty-free shopping for foreign visitors. Nikkei. Taiwan's exports to U.S. surged 87.4% to a record $15.5 billion in May amid tariff concerns. Bloomberg. Central banks. Citigroup now expects 3 U.S. rate cuts this year, starting in September after strong job growth. Reuters. Deputy BOJ governor says price stability must take precedent over fiscal considerations. Reuters. ECB signals end of rate cuts as Lagarde declares policy well-calibrated amid uncertainty. Bloomberg. ECB's Schnabel warns of inflation risks from U.S. tariffs despite rate cut progress. Reuters. Some BOE watchers think central bank may be underestimating UK growth outlook. Bloomberg. RBI's 50 BPS rate cut was final one for the year, economists conclude. Reuters. Markets. Sources say Japan plans to buy back super long government bonds to manage rising yields and trim future issuance. Reuters. Strategists on Wall Street express optimism about U.S. stocks amid resilient economic growth. Bloomberg, shares of AI infrastructure companies rising sharply as big tech boosts spending, restoring investor confidence. Bloomberg, investor skepticism towards long-term U.S. debt makes this Thursday's upcoming $22 billion bond auction highly anticipated. Bloomberg, corporate, Apple WWDC may introduce a new OS numbering system, but AI advancements seen likely to be delayed. Bloomberg link. Qualcomm plans to acquire AlphaWave IP for $2.4 billion to enhance its AI technology capabilities. Bloomberg FT. IonQ acquiring UK startup Oxford Ionics for $1.08 billion, boosting confidence in quantum computing advancements. Bloomberg, Starbucks will lower prices on iced and tea drinks in China to compete amid intense market pressure. FT. Disney and Universal expanding theme parks significantly, with Universal opening Epic Universe and Disney investing $60 billion. CNBC. L'Oreal acquires a majority stake in UK skincare brand Medic 8 to enhance its presence in the growing market. Bloomberg, UK financial firms to test AI tools in a regulatory sandbox environment soon. Reuters, CNBC. There's more. Happy Monday. S&P futures, they are up by 0.2 Monday morning, comes after U.S. equities rallied on Friday, with all the major indexes up over 1%. Stocks also finished higher on the week, with the S&P 20% above its post-Liberation Day low and just 3% off of the record February close. Treasuries are narrowly mixed, with a touch of curve steepening. Dollar is off by 0.1, gold is down by 0.2, Bitcoin futures up by 3.3, and WTI is up by 0.7. Market waiting for direction from details out of the U.S.-China trade talks in London today. No surprises, the press reports discussed how talks will be focused on export controls, particularly in terms of rare earths and technology. Trump said pick to replace Powell as Fed chair would be announced very soon, a move that could ratchet up the political pressure on the Fed to cut rates. At the same time, the market is dialing back easing expectations. Senate is looking to release its version of the reconciliation bill this week, though usual suspects remain big stumbling blocks. Corporate pushing back against Section 899 revenge tax, though Trump admin have defended as a key source of leverage. Reuters reported that Japan considering buying back some super long JGBs in an attempt to dampen upward pressure on yields. China PPI deflation worsened in May, while China export growth came in softer than expected with the sharp fall in shipments to the United States. Quiet day on the calendar with just New York Fed one-year inflation expectations out at 11. Small business optimism out on Tuesday. Wednesday brings May CPI. Street looking for headline up by 0.2 month over month. Core CPI seen going up by 0.3. Then Thursday, preliminary University of Michigan consumer sentiment. And then that caps off the week. No Fed speak and Treasury supply and focus. $120 billion, 3-year, 10-year, and 30 years, all coming to sale this week. Quiet in terms of corporate news this week. Does bring a number of sell-side conferences and investor days. Apple WWDC highlights the Monday at 1 p.m. Meta reportedly in talks to make a multi-billion-dollar investment in artificial intelligence startup Scale AI. Bloomberg discussed how the street has been taking down Tesla delivery estimates. Walmart CFO said consumer wallet stretch, but shoppers still spending about the same they did a year or two ago. Qualcomm to acquire UK-listed semiconductor AlphaWave IP for $2.4 billion. App and Hood, the high-profile decliners after not being included in the S&P 500. WPP said Mark Reed will retire at the end of the year. WBD to split operating studio and streaming TV business from cable. IonQ to acquire Oxford Ionics for $1.07 billion in cash. Wow, we have a good time. I keep it a roll, you know? Wow. So you have plays. Circle, the IPO, 17%. Recent IPO, WBD is up by 8.7 to separate into two media companies. Streaming and studio, CCJ is up by 6.3 in sympathy to report of Westinghouse in talks to build 10 large nuclear reactors in the U.S. RKLB is up by 6.2, follow through on June 6. Nibis up 4.9, they launch in UK. FLUT up 3.0, follow through. SYF up 3.0, reported a win deal for Walmart credit cards. CoreWeave up 2.6, VG 2.5, Merck up 2.4, top line results, phase 3 trial. MTSR 17.9. Phase 1 data of a Malik candidate. DGNX up 17. Follow through. NAMS up 13.7. Top line disease data from Broadway clinical trial. ACHR is up by 12. Follow through on executive order. VFS up by 11.4 off earnings. Joby up 10 off the January 6th drone executive order. Same with EVX. OMDA is up by 8.2. IonQ up 7.6 to acquire a company. LEU is up by 6.0. And Sympathy to Westinghouse to build 10 large nuclear reactors. Qubit is up 5. NXC is up 5 on the Westinghouse news. Same with UEC. RXRX down up by 5.1. RDW up 4.7 to acquire Edge Autonomy. Oklo up 3. Seaport Research Partners upgrade. UUU up 3.7. Westinghouse. SMR Westinghouse. Geo up 3.2, activates company-owned 1.86 bed facility in Georgia. AVAV is up by 3, follow-through executive order on drones. CRISPR is up by 3. Lunar is up 2.9, follow-through. eToro 2.6, sell-side initiations. BBAI 2.1, appoints Sean Ricker as interim CFO effective immediately. CRGY is up by 2.0. Piper Sandler overweight. TPST is up by 31. CEO and executive transitioning. A-Lab up 18, or A-LAR up 18 off guidance. PYPD up 18. UMAC BLD follow through on drone. Bro, how many drone plays are there today? All of these, bro. At least 15 of them. So yeah, I'd watch out for that. Hura is up 5. FDA remove manufacturing related partial clinical hold. Huron is up by 4.8. HC Winright initiates buy. Trade prop 2.6. Uroy again, uranium royalty. Bitcoin trading higher, trading lower. App down 3, not added to S&P. ISRG down 3. Deutsche Bank downgrade. LNG down 2.7, not added to S&P. Mobileye down 2. Downgrade. Carvana down 1.8, not added to S&P. Tesla down 1.8. Bear downgrade. Interactive Brokers down 1.8, not added to S&P. Chewy. Mizuho downgrade. Sats down 11, considering filing Chapter 11 bankruptcy. AKSM down 4. FDA refusal. And then Nova down 28 on bankruptcy. Wow. Which one was it? There was 2 that I liked out of all of those. There was something there. Again, I like the Walmarts. I'm going to watch gold. Again, Nibis. That was it. But then there was one piece of news I liked before I get into... Okay, I can't find it. Please hold while we connect your long term. Which one? Again, and I hope you guys see it. All of the uranium plays... and anything related to drones, you're going to get a lot of that. Where was it? Was that not it? Oh yeah, this one, NAMS. So that one's Alzheimer's, and then there was one right before that. Oh yeah, Synchrony. So watch that. NAMS and SYF. Those are the big news that I saw from there. Hood just, again, actually, believe it or not, I think it was the first time since like 1930 or something that you did not add to the S&P. So, you know, that whole weekend, everybody's like, oh my gosh, S&P 500, they're going to add them. Nobody got added. So that's actually the first time that has occurred in a while. But Chattadonia, game time. I hope you're feeling good. I hope you're having a great Monday. But Chattadonia here at the Cult, before we do anything, before we try to chase the dollar, before we try to enrich ourselves, we must pay homage to a very special group of people that has made a sacrifice that most of us never have and ever will. And I am talking about the veterans of the United States of America. So on behalf of the Cult, the people here, the people not here, I want to give a huge special shout out, active servicemen, past servicemen, anybody who has served this country for real. Thank you for everything you have given. If anybody should be getting a long-term, getting a property, it should be you. You fought for this country. If anybody deserves to own it and benefit off of it, it should be you. So let us help, man, and I hope you do it the right way and avoid all the other stuff, because if anybody deserves it, oh my goodness. So veterans, God bless all of you and thank you. And if you haven't served, I really hope you recognize why we do this every single day. This is very important. You share this room with a lot of veterans as well. And when it's all said and done, I'm just giving you a reminder that your voice is important, Chattadonia. All of you listening, I know some of you I do not, but don't ever forget, man, your voice, and when you make especially for something good like the veterans, man, it will be heard. So I hope that you bring this love and culture to real life. life. I hope you use your voice and honor those who have already honored you, baby. So, veterans, God bless all of you, and big shout out to your families as well. Everybody who has given everything for this country, and big shout out to the active service, past service, the teachers, doctors, nurses, firefighters. It doesn't matter. Are you making your community run? You all deserve the honor there, baby. So God bless you and thank you, but ladies and gentlemen, please rise up. Place your right hand over your heart. Say it with me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all, baby. Son of the judge! Oh, it's game time, baby. Hard on. Chatadonia. Happy Monday. It's Monday. I know, it's Monday. Are you guys ready? Are you ready? Oh, yeah. So, Chatadonia, thank you to the veterans. It's good to be back, baby. It's a Monday. We got a lot in store. I will see you there at Gen Pop. Let's have a good one. Make the most of it. And if I don't see you, have a good day. At the very least, if you don't want to participate, go take a nap, baby, and enjoy your day. And happy Monday, baby. Peace. I'll see you there. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you're having a wonderful morning. It is actually a pretty interesting start here. Remember, last week we closed up at the highs, and now to come back, even though there was a lot of drama in Los Angeles and there's a couple of things overseas, we heard stuff even last week. You're starting off the week strong, and the headline is in London, China and the United States are talking about trade. They're having a trade thing. It's actually supposed to go on throughout the day. And then I think towards even tomorrow, you may even get some. So we have a big week with CPI and some other stuff. We're getting halfway through June, but trade is one of the big issues alongside everything else. And now here we are. So we're going to have a good day ahead of us. I don't know if this stream has a stream gone live yet. Where is it? Wait, how come it's not live? So yeah, other than that, we'll see where it leads us. But no, do you guys see me? Do you hear me? Can anybody hear me? I feel like I'm abandoned. It's not working yet. Where is it? So yeah, I thought I would be live by now, but you guys might just hear the weird remix. Yeah, is it not live? Why won't it load? You could hear, but you can't see? Oh, wait, can you guys hear me? No way. Okay, let's see if that works. I just started and stopped it. But other than that, boom. All right, do you guys hear me now? Hello. YouTube.